I'll be starting my second year at St. John's School. When I was about 12, my mom took me to the competition. We were just outside looking at all the cars go by, and I thought, okay, that's cool. And then she took me inside of the competition, where I actually got to see the competitors working on their cars, and I saw how young they were, and I decided I wanted to do that one day.
So 12 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
And to add to that, because I had a relationship with Shell and I knew Dick Williams and he was there, I pulled him aside and I said, Dick, my daughter's here. She's really interested in this. Would you take a couple of minutes just to talk to her? And he was very gracious. He talked to Marisa and gave her some pointers, told her things that she might consider. And she said, Mommy, one day I want to do that. And I said, well, Marisa, I'm sure you will and you can. And it's great that, as a Latina, as a female, that she had that great interest in STEM very early on and has been true to it since first grade. It's exposing our daughters and Marisa in this particular case to follow their dreams, to expose them to opportunities. We live in Houston where there are some great, phenomenal companies such as Shell and others, and leaders, exposing them to leaders. So early on, because she had an interest in science, we've identified people who are scientists, professors, entrepreneurs who in that field to show Marisa that, yes, there are the university types, but there are those who are in corporations, there are those who've started their own businesses, so that she can see a real plethora of opportunities as it relates to her particular interests.
Well, our team leader, Jake Nyquist, started the team as a freshman. He also had similar experience to mine. He went to the competition and said, I want to do this one day. So he started the team as a freshman. He just graduated as a senior, and at our club fair, we were able to sign up for the team, and there were 70 names on the list, and in the end, there were only 18 of us who actually finished and went to the competition. We started in Michael's garage building the frame for our solar electric car, and it was hard at first because they were mostly boys, a lot stronger than I was physically, and it was just hard for me to actually do something. Then Michael gave me the opportunity to saw the pipes for the frame, and I found something that I was able to do because my hands were unusually strong because I knit. So I found a job sawing the pipes. But I didn't want to just be the pipe sawer person, so I came to Jake Peacock and Jake Nyquist and asked if there was anything else I could do, and they assigned me to do the research for the material that would become the windows. It was hard for me to balance Eco Marathon with all of my other extracurriculars and of course my school and grades and everything. That was a challenge, but as a team, it was just kind of hard to get everybody together because our schedules were just so vastly different.
Mentioned, it was a very intimidating experience for her because most of the team they were all male, and they'd been on the team longer. They'd taken other classes, but she survived it. I think the big takeaway for her and what Shell Eco Marathon did for her was to really show her that it's not easy, but if you want to do it, you can. And when I walked around and was, in the George R. Brown with all of those many talented, young, smart people, there was a lack of females in the room. And I went purposely to look for a Shell employee who was female, who was an engineer, to come, again, like the mother in me, right, to have her hear and see from minorities, from women that had successfully, done well at Shell. And I think, again, at the end of the day, she was a trooper.
We were next to the Rice Solar car, which was a really nice car. It was kind of intimidating to see them with their electrical engineering degrees building a car next to ours, which is nicknamed the duct tape car. But in the end, I realized that we were all just in this together to create more energy efficient vehicles and raise awareness. our car is a prototype, but most of the colleges are doing street models, and I think in college I'd like to join a team that does street model cars.
Interesting.
Yeah, and one of the things that Marisa had mentioned to me when she was there was you talked about how a lot of your team were seniors and they're moving on. And so one of the strategies that Marisa, and again, it's really great to see your children on their own think of these things. She said, you know, I'm going to spend more time with so-and-so and so-and-so on their team so I can learn how to do this part of the, you know, putting the car together. So talk about that, and even one of them trying to help you learn some things that you didn't know how to do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think Jake Nyquist, our team leader, was very supportive. It was really intimidating, but he was always there to tell me that I can do this and just help me learn new skills. And he helped me with like the window material stuff, and Michael just gave me the opportunity to saw the pipes and just help out in building the actual frame. We had a problem with our brakes at the competition. That was evident when on our third lap, the car just started moving uncontrollably, and they had to pull us over and take us out. So I guess next time we should definitely check things a little bit more carefully, because we saw the brake had a problem. We said, oh, that's okay, just go. But we needed to fix that.
Do some extra testing.
Just a better understanding of how all the parts of the car work and how people's different skills come together to build this energy efficient vehicle.
And as a parent, I go back to the whole idea, I would not know where to begin. And the fact that this team of 16 people could, with their knowledge and their courses in math and all of those things, put it all together is very impressive. It really is, especially when you look at the calories. Marisa said, you know, you're sitting there and you see Rice at the table next to you, and they are far more senior, but these kids wouldn't give up, and they were all there trying to figure out their space. And you know, one time I'm looking over and I see this 15-year-old Hispanic female trying to help figure out the solution. As a parent, the big takeaway for me was a great lesson to Marisa that in this particular field, currently, there are very few women. Hopefully that will change over time. But it also, as a parent, was a great takeaway to see a couple of those young men helping open the door for her and teaching her their knowledge. And that she was smart enough to say, you know, I don't know these things, but I want to learn more. And I think that's what life is about, is being vulnerable and knowing that you don't have all of the answers, but surrounding yourself with smart people. And, you know, she didn't have to do it, but she saw it as a young little girl, and now as a young woman, she's actually executing. And I think that's a great lesson. I think that for Shell to be able to help people further their dreams and aspirations in this, no better place than to actually put it to use. And so while she's read every science and philosophy and math book that most college students have not even yet looked at, it was fantastic to see her put it into place, right, with her hands, utilizing it. So I think that's what the Shell Eco Marathon is about, is in its own way, it is instilling confidence in these young, aspiring engineers and scientists and allowing them to put what's up here and building something. So as a parent, I'm just very grateful to Shell for doing this and for exposing our young leaders to the field of STEM.
Well, I think more than anything, it's the relationships I've built with my team, just knowing that they're there for me and just seeing that what started as an idea went onto paper, into a garage, and became a car was difficult but still doable, is something that I will remember in my career when things get difficult.
On that.
Sure. So I've been president and CEO for 7 years now, and our relationship with Shell is a long-standing relationship. They partner with us on our annual luncheon and other initiatives. But being the capital of the energy, right, Houston is the energy capital, it made sense for our chamber to launch an energy summit, which we began about 3 years ago. It was something new, something that Shell was interested in, certainly something our chamber was interested in as it related to an industry vertical. Marisa has been at all 3 Shell Energy Summits, and we've been right there along with Shell as a great partner. And the reality is that it has really allowed us to grow as a Chamber of Commerce because energy, oil and gas, all of those things are so very important to Houston. So that's something new that we've embarked with our partners at Shell. But it certainly opened my eyes to the opportunities that are present here in Houston. Certainly Marisa has opened my eyes in terms of the need for us to have more minorities in that arena. But it emphasizes what I already knew, is that we are not represented in the numbers that we need to be. And partly because it's a very challenging career. It is very challenging, with great rewards, of course. But I think that we need to do our part as leaders to encourage and support and enhance the number of females in that arena, because the opportunities are in fact there. And anything that our chamber can do to further move this movement forward with our partners at Shell and others, we need to be part of that solution. And that's why the Shell Employee Network, I think, is so important, is that even once you're in the system, you're already at Shell, you still need further development, further support to continue to move up that career path. And I think that that's what Shell is trying to do every day, and we're happy to be partners with Shell here at the chamber. I was surprised by the collaboration amongst the different schools.
Yeah.
And I think you mentioned something about that. Sean, you want to share that?
I mean, it was really intimidating until one point where I said, hey, can we borrow your screwdriver? And we were like, oh yeah. And then we borrowed some of their electrical tape, and a school from Vancouver let us use their drill press in exchange for one of our wrenches. And it was just really nice to see that it wasn't about winning, it was about working together to make the most efficient vehicle.